Hello, hi everybody. Welcome back to one of our classes of business language, business vocabulary. We will have a class of business vocabulary today. The class is called Business Idioms in Context. So we are going to have different expressions that we're going to use into sentences. I will share my screen in just a second. I just want to let you know that the expressions that we're going to see today, most of them have the word business built in them, and we will also talk a little bit about them. I will share my screen now. Okay, so here they are. So we have a business lunch, make it my business, business address, much business, out of business, daily business, business hours, on business, business sense. Much business, again, maybe we'll have to use it twice. Business like, get down to business, and none of your business. So there are plenty of expressions, but we will not use all of them. We will only use a couple of them. I just want to point the fact that in these type of exercises where you have to complete sentences and you have a list of expressions or a list of vocabulary, you will have to make sure you understand the sentence and you understand the purpose or the message of that sentence. And then you have to select from a list the one that makes most sense. When you have more expressions than sentences or than gaps in sentences, then you will have to just search through and make sure that the ones that you choose, the expressions you choose, make sense or they build a logical sentence. So let's start. Here are the sentences. I also have a little bit of homework for you, so we will wait for your comments at the end of the class, and we'll see. So the first sentence, we do not do blank with this company. We don't trust their blank. Now we will have to integrate the expression. So if we are talking about a company, then normally you would say we do not do business with this company, but we don't have the word just business, so we'll have to select an expression. And the expression that is very closely to just business, just the word business, would be much business. So then we will type it here and we would say we do not do much business with this company. We don't trust their, and you will have to figure out which is the expression that works best. And the expression that would work best is that you don't trust the way they do business, you don't trust the way they conduct their business. The expression would then be, we don't trust their business sense, which would basically be the same thing. Okay, we will also write it in comments afterwards. We will post the entire sentences so you can then check, but you can also just after some time maybe try to recreate the sentences yourselves, and that would be a good exercise. The second sentence, look for him at his blank, but first check his blank. We use the word blank just to show that there's a blank space in the sentence. So if you have to look for someone, it means that you have to find them, you have to search for them. So then you would, of course, talk about address. So we have business address, look for him at his business address, but first check his, and the expression that would work best would be business hours. You will have to check his business hours or schedule or program just to make sure that if you look for them at his business address, it means that you have to go at a certain point in time when you'll probably find him there. Okay, the next one. I'm afraid you cannot see Mr. Pot. He's having blank at the moment. Okay, now you wouldn't be able to choose, for example, the last expressions maybe. He's having a get down to business at the moment. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Nor does it make it your business or none of your business, which are actually a little bit informal, or they're quite informal, so you can't really use that. If he's having something at the moment, it means that by the use of present continuous in the sentence, it means that it's not something that he owns or something that he possesses, because you know that the verb to have cannot be used in present continuous when it means to own or to possess something. So it's only used when you have expressions like having fun, having a shower, having lunch, having dinner, because they actually mean something else. They're part of an expression. For example, having a shower means cleaning, washing yourself. Having lunch means eating lunch. So then, because we use present continuous here, you will have to your thought will have to straight go to business lunch, because he's eating lunch at the moment. And you cannot see our general manager either. He is away. If he is away from the office, or if he's away from work, that would mean that he is on a business trip. Now we have the expression he's away on business, which would actually mean that he's on business trip. We don't need also the word business. It can be omitted, and the word trip can be omitted. So it basically means the same thing. So our sentence would be, he is away on business. Now, the next sentence, there was a dramatic downturn in the market and he went. If we have the word downturn in a sentence, it means that something negative has happened, something bad has happened, and therefore the impact to that would have to be something negative as well. Also, there would be another action that would be a negative thing. Now, if there was a dramatic downturn in the market, the expression is he went out of business. Out of business, or to go out of business, it means to be bankrupt, or to go bankrupt. So that means that he doesn't have the business anymore because the business failed due to the dramatic downturn in the market. The next sentence, streets were bustling away with people going about there. Streets were bustling away. Bustling away with people would mean that there are plenty of people on the streets, many people on the streets doing whatever they have to do. And there is a very specific expression for that, going about their daily business. You can also say going about their business, of course. The word daily is a little bit, the word daily is just not mandatory because maybe they don't have a daily business every day. But going about their business, that's the normal expression. And then you can also use an adverb if you want to show a specific type of business. The next sentence, I'll blank to see that our project gets underway in due time. So to see that would mean, in this context, doesn't actually mean that I see with my eyes. It means that to make sure that. And in order to show what I'm going to do, in order to make sure that our projects gets underway in due time, meaning that it gets started and it's okay that we have this project running in due time. In due time would mean that it happens when it was predicted or when it was projected to happen. So our expression here would be, I will make it my business to see that our project gets underway in due time. And I will make it my business would mean I will make sure that this thing happens. I will make it my business will mean it'll be my responsibility. I will be in charge of making sure that our project gets underway in due time. So to make it my business is more informal, but to say I'll be in charge to make sure that, or I will be in charge to a certain that, would be a little bit more formal. Now we have other expressions as well. These are all the sentences that we have for today. But if we look through our expressions, we used business lunch, make it my business, business address, much business, out of business, daily business, business hours, on business, business sense as well, okay? And I would want you to also think, what does it mean when you say get down to business or none of your business or business-like? I want you to look at the expression business-like and see that there's a hyphen between business and like, and why do you think that is? I would want you to put it into comments and tell us why do you think there's a hyphen between business and like, and we will react to your comment and we will reply, confirm or infirm your solution. Let's look at the exercise that you will have to do by yourselves. These two sentences. Negotiations were conducted in a blank manner. You have to look at the fact that we have the word manner, which is a noun. And whenever you have a sentences that has a gap before the noun, most likely, or most of the times, that gap will have to be an adjective. So you also have the article a. Even though the article a links, of course, to the noun, because only a noun has an article, and you know the articles are a, an, and the. You know that in between the article and the noun, there has to be an adjective. The adjective in English sits always, always in front of the noun. So then we will have to search here for an expression that can be an adjective. So you will have to also make an association with what I've asked you earlier, okay? And then see if you can figure out which is the expression. In the second one, I have my hands full of business, so blank right away. If my hands are full of business, it means that I have many things to do. I have a plethora of activities. I have many actions that I have to get and make sure that I do, I have to complete. So by the expression at the end, right away, which means immediately, right? And I also have an exclamation point, which makes it even stronger. Then my sentence has a little bit of an urgency feel to it, right? So then I will have to understand that I have to just start very, very soon or immediately. So you'll have to figure out which is the expression that will fit best into that sentence. Another thing that I can ask you to do and to write in the comments, and I will be very curious to see what you come up with, is to find different synonyms for different expressions. You can try to find for all of them, but for some of them that's not really necessary. For example, for business lunch, it's not really necessary to have a synonym for that or a similar expression. Or you can just replace lunch with a different type of meal, and then you'll have a different expression. But especially for the ones that are more informal, like make it my business, get down to business, none of your business. You can try to find a more formal expression, one that you would definitely use in a business context. Now, these expressions that contain the word business, they don't necessarily mean that you can use them in formal settings. For example, if you write to an executive, or if you write, even if it's not an executive, but if you write to a person that you don't know from a company, then you cannot really use informal language. You'll have to use formal language. So you would not write, let's get down to business, unless you have a personal connection to the person that you're writing to. So I would want you to find different formal expressions that you can replace the more informal expressions in this list. So you will have now 2 tasks to do, right? To complete these 2 sentences, and also to come up with some similar expressions. Well, thank you for joining me today. We will have different classes with business vocabulary or business in context in the future. So make sure that you check our schedule on our page, on our Facebook page, and that you get to see them even later. Or if you want to join the class, you can also subscribe and join the class with me as well. So this is it for today. And if you have any ideas of any type of classes, business classes that you would want to see, just let us know and we will comply. Well,